Rest now. This is Pillowside Night Stories. Rain taps the iron canopy above you. Steady, patient. A sound that has been falling for hours and will fall for hours more. You are standing on a platform under shelter, watching the rain come down in silver threads. Your suitcase rests beside your ankle. Your coat is damp at the shoulders, but the rain cannot reach you here. You are under the roof, and the roof is steady. Wherever you are listening from tonight, let your shoulders drop. Let the tension in your jaw soften. There is nothing to solve right now, nothing to fix, nothing that cannot wait until morning. Ahead of you, on the old departure board, the letters have stopped their clicking. They spell two words now: white against black. Last train departed. The platform stretches away on either side, empty and wet. The wooden benches are dark with rain, and the tracks run off into the darkness, shining under the station lamps, curving away until they disappear. You exhale. Your shoulders drop another inch. Because for the first time today, the timetable is done with you. The schedules have let you go. There is no train to catch, no platform to find, no departure time to watch approaching on the clock. The night is not asking anything of you anymore. You let your fingers loosen around the handle of your suitcase. You let the weight of it settle against your ankle. You are not going anywhere tonight. And somehow, that knowledge feels like a door opening rather than closing. Somewhere in the distance, a train passes through, not stopping at this station, just moving through the darkness on another line, running parallel through the rain. You hear the rumble first, low and building. Then the horn, calling once, twice, distant and mournful. Then the rhythm of wheels on rails, growing louder, filling the night with a sound that is almost like breathing. For a moment, you can feel the vibration through the wet stone beneath your feet. The platform trembles slightly. The rain on the canopy seems to pause, as if listening, and then the sound fades. Softer, farther, until there is only the rain again, falling steady and patient, as if the train had never passed at all. That train is carrying passengers to other places, other lives. People who made their connections, who are where they meant to be, moving through the night toward morning. But you are not on it. You are here, on this empty platform, with nowhere you need to be tonight, and nothing asking for you. And that is when you see it. At the far end of the station, where the building meets the canopy, a window glows. Warm light behind glass, amber and soft, the color of honey held up to a lamp. Above the window, a small sign hangs from an iron bracket, swinging gently in the wind that comes with the rain. Two words, painted in cream on green. Tea room. You pick up your suitcase. The handle is cool and damp, the leather worn smooth by years of travel. You walk toward the light, your footsteps quiet on the wet stone. Each step taking you closer to that glow. A wooden bench sits against the station wall, the kind with iron arms and slats darkened by decades of weather. An old clock hangs above it, its face yellowed, its hands stopped at some hour that no longer matters. The bench has been here longer than you have been alive. The clock has been here longer still. They are part of the station now, part of its bones. The tea room door is heavy oak, painted the same green as the sign. There is a brass handle, worn to gold in the center, where countless fingers have gripped it over the years. You reach for it, and the metal is cool and solid in your palm. You turn, and the latch clicks, and you push. The door is heavier than you expected. It swings inward slowly, and you have to lean into it. And you smell the warmth before you feel it. Old wood and coal smoke. Tea and something baking. The particular scent of a room that has been cared for. And then you are through. A bell chimes above your head. A small, bright sound in the quiet. It rings once, then settles into silence. And then the warmth reaches you. Not harsh heat. Something softer. The warmth of a room that has been lived in and cared for. The warmth of a coal fire burning low. The warmth of wool drying near the flames, of tea steeping, of bread that was toasted hours ago and still lingers in the air. You step inside, and the door swings shut behind you. The sound is solid, final. The rain becomes distant, muffled, just a murmur on the windows and the roof above. And you are in. The room is small, mismatched chairs around small tables. A counter with a glass case holding a few scones under a cloth. Shelves lined with teacups, no two the same. A clock on the wall with a brass pendulum, swinging slow and steady. And everywhere, the smell of beeswax polish and bergamot tea, of coal smoke and clotted cream. A woman stands behind the counter. She is perhaps 70, her hair silver and pinned back, her cardigan the color of heather. She looks up as you enter, and her face creases into a smile. The kind of smile that has been given many times before to many people who have come through that door, wet and tired, and wondering where they would spend the night. "Come in, dear. You look half frozen." Her voice is warm, unhurried. She moves toward you, reaching for your coat before you can offer it. "Let me take this. The hook by the fire will have it dry by morning." She hangs your coat near the grate. Steam rises from the damp wool almost immediately. And for a moment, the room smells of rain and wet cloth. And then that fades, replaced by the warmth that was there before. Missed the last train, did you? You nod. She makes a small sound, somewhere between sympathy and understanding. But there is no pity in it, only recognition. Happens more often than you'd think. The rain slows everything down. She moves behind the counter, lifting a kettle from a small stove. Sit anywhere you like. I'll bring you something warm. You choose a chair by the window. Not the window that faces the platform, with its empty benches and wet tracks. A smaller window set into the side wall, looking out at the station garden. You can see nothing through the glass but rain and darkness, and the vague shapes of hedges, black against blacker. The chair is deep and worn, upholstered in velvet that was once green and is now something softer, something that has been sat in so many times it has no single color anymore. You sink into it, and the cushion takes your weight without complaint. The frame creaks once, settling. The fabric sighs. This chair has held many people. You can feel the truth of it as you sit. Many travelers who miss their trains. Many cups of tea drunk while the rain fell outside. Many nights spent waiting for morning. Mrs. Pemberton appears beside you with a tray. Silver, tarnished at the edges, but polished bright where hands have touched it over the years. She sets it on the small table by your elbow, and the cups rattle softly and then go still. A teapot, round and brown, steam rising from the spout. A cup and saucer, bone china with a blue rim, thin enough that the light glows through when you lift it. A small plate with 2 scones, pale gold, still warm. A dish of clotted cream, thick and white. A pot of jam the color of dark garnets. She pours without asking how you take it. A splash of milk, just the right amount. And the tea turns the color of autumn leaves, of oak in late October. Earl Grey, she says. Unless you'd prefer something else. Chamomile, perhaps. You shake your head. Earl Grey is perfect. Sugar's there if you want it. She nods toward a small bowl with silver tongs. And there's more hot water in the pot if it gets too strong. She does not hover. She does not wait for you to drink or ask if the tea is right. She simply returns to her counter, to her cloth, to her quiet work of tidying things that are already tidy. The cup is warm in your hands. The china is old, you can tell. There is a hairline crack along the rim, so faint you can only see it when the lamplight catches it just right. But this small imperfection does not trouble you. It is a mark of use, a mark of all the hands that have held this cup before, all the lips that have touched this rim on all the nights that came before this one. You lift the cup and drink. The tea is perfect, hot but not scalding, strong but not bitter. The bergamot rises with the steam, filling your senses, and the warmth spreads through your chest, down your arms, into your fingers where they wrap around the china. The coal fire crackles in the grate. A small sound, intimate. The clock ticks on the wall, steady as a heartbeat. The rain murmurs against the windows, soft and constant. And you sit, and you drink, and you let the quiet settle around you like a blanket. The silver tongs are cool when you lift them. You pick up one sugar cube, rough-edged and white, and drop it into your cup. It makes a small clink as it hits the china. You stir. 3 slow circles. The spoon rings against the cup, a soft, bright sound that seems to hang in the air. Then you set the spoon down on the saucer, and the ringing stops. And the silence that follows is somehow deeper than before. You break a scone in half. Steam rises from the soft interior, and the smell of butter and flour fills your nose. You spread it with cream, thick and cool. Then jam, dark and sweet. You take a bite, and it crumbles on your tongue. And for a moment, there is nothing in the world but this. This taste, this warmth, this quiet. After a while, Mrs. Pemberton returns. She has a wool blanket over her arm, cream-colored and thick, the kind that holds warmth close. "This was warming by the fire," she says. "Thought you might want it for your legs." You take it from her, and the warmth is immediate. She has been preparing, you realize. Thinking ahead. Before you knew you needed anything, she was already making it ready. "Some trains are meant to be missed, dear." She says it simply, without explanation. And then she turns back to her counter. She does not say anything else. She does not need to. You spread the blanket over your lap. The wool is heavy and soft against your legs. You lift your teacup again, and the warmth in your hands meets the warmth in your lap, and you feel something loosen inside you. Something that has been tight all day. Outside, another train passes in the distance. You feel it before you hear it. A trembling in the floor, in the legs of your chair, in the small table beside you. Then the rumble comes, building slowly, and the horn calls twice, mournful and far. and the rhythm of wheels fills the night like a pulse. Your teacup shivers in its saucer. The surface of the tea ripples and trembles, like a pond touched by wind. And then the sound fades, and the ripples still, and the quiet returns, deeper now, as if the train's passing has somehow made the silence more complete. Mrs. Pemberton glances at the clock on the wall. "I'll be heading upstairs soon," she says. "I live just above, but you're welcome to stay as long as you like." She reaches into her pocket and sets something on the counter. A small brass key, tarnished but solid. The door locks from inside. The first train isn't until 6:30, but no one will bother you before then. She moves toward a narrow staircase at the back of the room, her footsteps soft on the worn boards. Then she pauses, her hand on the wooden railing. "There's a hot water bottle in the basket by the sofa. I filled it earlier, just in case someone needed it tonight." She looks at you, and her eyes are gentle and kind. "Sleep well, dear. The station will keep watch." And then she is gone. Her footsteps creak on the stairs, soft and unhurried. A door opens somewhere above, closes, and you are alone. The tea room is yours now. You sit for a while, finishing your tea, letting the warmth of the blanket soak into your legs. The fire burns lower in the grate, the coals glowing orange and red. The flames dancing smaller now. The clock ticks its patient rhythm on the wall. The rain continues its murmur on the glass. Eventually, you rise. Not because you need to, but because there is something about a room like this that invites looking, that rewards attention, that asks to be seen. You walk slowly along the walls, your stocking feet silent on the wooden floor. The boards are worn smooth in places, darker where feet have walked the same paths for decades. Near the counter, near the fire, near the window that faces the platform, you can see the grain of the wood, the years of footsteps pressed into it, the history of all the people who have walked here before you. On the walls, photographs hang in frames of dark wood, black and white, faded to sepia at the edges. The station in earlier days, when steam engines still ran and porters still called out the stops. A platform crowded with passengers in hats and long coats, waiting for trains that no longer run. A steam locomotive pulling in, smoke billowing from its stack. And there, in one corner, a photograph of a woman who might be Mrs. Pemberton years younger, standing in this very doorway with a tea towel over her shoulder, smiling at someone beyond the frame. Whether you grew up with stations like this, or only ever saw them in photographs and old films, there is something in this room that feels like returning. On a shelf near the window, you find a leather-bound book. The cover is worn soft by years of hands. The pages thick and uneven at the edges where they have been cut. You carry it back to your chair and open it on your lap. A guest book. You realize it as you turn the first page. The entries go back years, decades perhaps. Some written in ink, some in pencil that has faded to gray. Some dated from this month, this season. Others from long ago. Rain kept me here. Best accident of my journey. The scones are worth missing any train. You turn a few more pages, reading here and there, letting your eyes rest on the handwriting without trying to read every word. Each entry is a window into someone else's night. Someone else who sat in this room, in this chair perhaps, drinking tea while the rain fell. Near the back of the book, you find blank pages and a pen tucked into the spine. Heavy brass with a mother-of-pearl handle. The nib stained dark with years of ink. You think for a moment, and then you write. Just the date and a few words. Something simple, something true. Then you close the book and return it to its shelf. Someone else will find it someday. Someone else who missed their train and found this room and stayed. You pour yourself another cup of tea. The pot is still warm. The tea a little stronger now, but still good. You add a splash of milk and watch it swirl and disappear into the amber. On the mantel above the fire, a small brass bell sits beside the clock. Tarnished green at the edges, dented on one side from some long ago accident. You do not ring it. You only look at it and wonder. How many times has it been rung? How many customers has it called? How many conversations have happened across these tables? How many cups of tea shared? How many rainy nights spent in this room? But tonight, there are no conversations. Tonight there is only you, and the fire, and the rain, and the distant sound of trains passing through the dark. You return to your chair. The velvet is warm now, holding the heat of your body from before. And when you sit, it feels like being welcomed back. Like the chair has been waiting. The rain grows heavier. You hear it change. The steady tap on the roof becomes something more insistent. The drops fall harder on the iron canopy outside. On the tin of the platform roof, a sound like 1,000 small drums beating in no particular hurry. The windows fog with the contrast between cold outside and warm within. And the world beyond the glass becomes soft and blurred. You pull the blanket higher, tucking it around your shoulders now, wrapping yourself in wool that smells faintly of lavender and wood smoke. The fire has burned down to embers, but the room holds its warmth. The walls have been absorbing heat for decades, storing it in the plaster and the wood and the very air. Through the fogged window, you can see the lights of the platform, the wet gleam of empty benches, the dark lines of the tracks shining under the lamps. A lamppost with a halo of rain around its glow, the drops falling through the light like tiny stars. No one is out there now, and nothing is being asked of you. The last passengers left hours ago, and the first will not arrive until morning. The station belongs to the rain now, and to the night, and to you. Another train passes, farther away this time, on tracks you cannot see, carrying passengers you will never meet. The vibration travels through the ground, through the foundation of the station, through the floor, through the legs of your chair. Your teacup trembles in its saucer. The surface of the cold tea shivers. And then silence. A silence that feels deeper than before, as if the train's passing has somehow carved out a space in the night for quiet to settle into. You think about the passengers on that train, where they are going, who is waiting for them at the end of their journey. But the thoughts are gentle things, drifting through your mind like leaves on slow water. You do not hold on to them. You do not follow them anywhere. You simply let them pass, as the train has passed, leaving only stillness behind. The clock on the wall chimes once, a soft, low note that hangs in the air for a moment before fading. You do not know what hour it marks, and you do not want to know. Time has stopped being something you measure. There are no more schedules tonight, no more departures. The hot water bottle is in the basket by the sofa, just as Mrs. Pemberton said. Wrapped in flannel, still warm to the touch. You carry it back to your chair and tuck it beneath the blanket, pressing it against your feet. The heat spreads immediately, through the flannel, through your stockings, into your skin. Warmth traveling up through your ankles, your calves, your knees. Your muscles begin to loosen, one by one, like strings being gently released. Your joints begin to soften. The tiredness that has been waiting all day finally has permission to arrive. You breathe in. The room smells of coal, smoke, and bergamot, of rain on stone and wool drying slowly by the fire. You breathe out, and something releases in your chest, a tightness you have been carrying, a knot you did not know was there. The rain begins to ease, not stopping, but softening. The drums on the roof become a patter, then a whisper. The fog on the windows thins slightly. You can see more of the platform now, more of the night beyond. Somewhere outside, a bird calls. Just once. A single note in the darkness, sleepy and far. Then silence again. You close your eyes, just for a moment, just to feel the weight of the blanket pressing down, the warmth of the bottle against your feet, the way the chair supports you without asking anything in return. The trains will keep passing through the night. The rain will keep falling on the roof. The station will keep standing as it has stood for over 100 years. Through storms and seasons, and all the comings and goings of lives, you will never know. But you do not need to watch. You do not need to count the trains, or measure the rain, or mark the passing of the hours. You only need to be here, in this room, in this chair, letting the night do whatever the night does. The sofa is old, horsehair beneath velvet, the color of wine left overnight in a glass. It stands against the wall, opposite the fire, beneath a window that shows nothing now but rain and darkness. You move to it slowly, carrying the blanket, carrying the hot water bottle, your feet padding soft on the worn wooden floor. The cushions give beneath your weight as you sit. Then lie down. Then settle. They are firm in the way old furniture is firm, made to last generations, made to support. Your head finds the pillow. It is small, embroidered with flowers by hands that are probably long gone, smelling faintly of lavender and thyme. You tuck it beneath your cheek and feel the weight of the day begin to lift. The blanket is heavy over you. The hot water bottle is warm against your feet. The fire has burned down to a glow. Just embers now, orange and red, pulsing slowly in the grate like something breathing. You reach for the lamp on the small table beside the sofa. Brass base, green glass shade. The kind that belonged in another century. You turn the switch once, and the light dims. Turn it again, and it fades. Turn it once more, and it goes out. Now there is only the glow of the fire, only the sound of the rain, only the soft, steady tick of the clock on the wall. A train passes in the distance, so far away it is barely a sound anymore. More a feeling, a whisper of wheels on rails, a horn so faint it might be a dream. And then it is gone, and the quiet returns, deep and soft as velvet. The guest book sits on its shelf, holding all those names, all those nights, all those people who came before you. Tomorrow, someone else might open it. Someone else might read what you wrote. But that is tomorrow. And tomorrow is very far away. The teacup sits on its saucer at the small table. The tea long cold now. There is a ring at the bottom of the cup, amber against cream, the last trace of what you drank. Mrs. Pemberton will find it in the morning, and she will know that someone was here, and she will smile. The rain has softened to almost nothing, just a whisper on the windows, just a murmur on the roof, the kind of rain that could fall forever and never become anything more than this. Background, lullaby, the voice of the night itself. Your breathing slows. Your thoughts grow quiet, distant, like trains moving away through the dark. The room is cradling you now. The sofa takes your weight without complaint. The blanket presses down with a weight that feels like rest. The hot water bottle sends its warmth through your bones, loosening the last of the tension, the last of the day. You think of Mrs. Pemberton, asleep upstairs in her little flat, her silver hair spread on her pillow, her breathing slow and easy. You think of the trains sleeping in their depots, dark and still, waiting for morning. You think of the birds tucked under eaves and in the hedges of the station garden, feathers puffed against the cold. Upstairs, Mrs. Pemberton's flat has gone quiet. The kettle has cooled. Even the brass bell on the mantel seems to have fallen asleep. The sign in the tea room window catches the last glow of the fire, then dims as the embers fade. The guest book rests on its shelf, pages settled together, holding your words along with all the others. The brass bell on the mantel gleams once in the firelight, then goes dark. Outside, the platform stretches empty and wet. The benches shine with rain. The tracks run away into the darkness, to places you do not need to go tonight. The station clock stands silent, its hands resting at some hour that no longer matters. Tomorrow, there will be a train to catch. Tomorrow, there will be somewhere to be. Someone waiting. Schedules to keep. But tomorrow is still sleeping, somewhere beyond the rain. And it will not wake you until you are ready. The clock on the wall ticks once more. The fire settles in the grate, the coals shifting softly. The rain whispers one last time against the glass. And then, quiet. Deep and complete. The kind of quiet that wraps around you like a blanket. The tea room rests now. The station rests. The rain rests. The night rests. And so do you.